Good morning and welcome to The Big Show and The Big Show TV. It's a Tuesday and that's why we have the one, the only Dr. Geraldine Tan with us. Good morning, Jerry.
Morning.
Morning.
And one of the credits, morning, beautiful people.
Jerry, I think it was last week that we received, an email, a very nice email, right, from someone who says that they love you. And I think they want to thank you for always helping people out on Tuesdays.
Yes.
And they tune in just for you because you make them feel good. You make them feel better. I think Angel has...
Yes, this person says that they always love listening to Dr. Jerry on Tuesday during their drive to work. Always helps me through my days. But this person's speaker is also spoiled and they haven't been able to repair it. But they're going to be tuning in to Facebook Live when they can't get to listen to us on radio. So they really enjoy listening to our session.
Oh, wonderful. And I have to thank all of you for hosting, because without all of you, this Therapy Tuesdays would not be, right?
It is a session I look forward to every week.
True.
I
Yeah.
personally
Very
look
true.
forward to it.
It's almost like we're receiving therapy, by talking to you.
In many ways.
We've
got our own therapist in our pockets.
Group therapy. We're doing group therapy.
And this is what we want. We want to help, all radio listeners on a daily basis if we can.
Yeah,
and that's why we have all of you fantastic people on the show, to help our radio listeners out in one way or another. And here's a bit of news as well, okay? We're thinking of expanding this a little bit more. And I'm talking to the radio listeners right now, because Dr. Jerry has been such a hit, along with everyone else. But we are probably going to get another doctor on the show.
Yeah.
Okay, on Wednesdays, right? So we want to know from our 1FM listeners, and you can get in touch with us via our WhatsApp, 88550913. What are some of the medical conditions you might want to have us address? Or this next doctor address? Okay, doctor or doctors, all right? One thing that we don't need is mental wellness, because that one
Dr.
we're leaving it to
Jerry
Dr. Jerry already.
Yes.
But anything else?
So this is more a physical thing, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Anything else, get in touch with us, 88550913. We want to make this happen on a regular basis on a Wednesday.
For sure. Yeah. So remember to text in to our WhatsApp number again, 88550913. Okay, let's head back to Dr. Jerry, because she's sitting pretty and waiting for us to speak about our topic for today, which is risk-taking behavior in the news. Dr. Jerry.
Yes, it's risky behavior, as it's usually called, but because of all the risk-taking behaviors that we have seen in the news, I thought I wanted to talk about this, and I think that I'll share about a couple of young people that was telling me about certain things last week.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
All right, let's talk about this on the Big Show TV. We have Dr. Geraldine Tan from the therapy room with us.
So, Jerry, how does one define risk-taking behavior? Investing in Bitcoin?
Okay. Let's go with the very traditional definition first, and I'm going to read, right? So, the definition goes like any consciously or non-consciously controlled behavior with a perceived uncertainty about its outcome and or about the possible benefits or cost for the physical, economic, or psychosocial well-being of oneself or others. So it's a whole mouthful there, but it's more fun, as I realized over the last few weeks, to ask your definition.
Us? You're talking to us?
Yes, of risk-taking behavior. Well, I can say that I took a risk by, getting another unit, because I had to leave my unit. So those on the Big Show TV can see that the background is different already. Yeah. So there's a risk that I had to take. Who knows what will come out of it. So that's my risk. That it's a change to me. A change is a little bit of a risk.
I thought it was risky behavior. Like that's
not
a
risky.
different kind of risk, right?
But it is risky
No,
behavior.
I'm asking about
business
yours.
risk, I guess.
Yeah, it's your definition.
I would say risky behavior to me is something that I would do that I know might get me into trouble or put me in danger.
Yeah, that's how I would define it.
If it comes to everything else, it would be going into the unknown. Because everything is a gamble, right?
Me being promiscuous.
Oh,
That's risky
yeah,
behavior.
that's very risky behavior.
to me.
Yes.
I wanted to be promiscuous when I was in school. And then I decided, I think I want to
I'll
save
go
myself
ahead and do
after
it.
marriage.
To be promiscuous
So,
after marriage?
No, save himself.
So,
Save
so
himself.
yeah. So when I was in school, I wanted to sleep with every single girl. Right? And then I decided, no, that's not the right way because I should save myself for
I think
marriage.
I
That's
think
beyond
most.
saving.
I think most boys are like that when they're in school. No, they just want to be promiscuous. Most of us don't because we can't spell the word.
Oh, so you're saying that it was normal for me to?
Yeah, come on.
Was it normal, Jerry, for me to
Be
have,
promiscuous?
want
Oh,
to be.
okay. Well, if that goes like usually.
Jerry's like, this is not where we started.
She regrets
No,
asking
no,
us now.
but it flows into when does it occur, right? There are developmental stages, and definitely the teens, the youths, are a little bit more impulsive.
She looks like she's
Because-
blushing.
No, I'm not. But Glenn has this way of coming up with weird things, right?
Creative. It's so
His
creative.
brain cycles.
No, he's very honest. And he just cuts straight to it, like no holds barred, man.
I've taken. There's some people who do these tests where you can find out just what kind of risk taker you are. Whether you're a big risk taker. I'm a very conservative person when it comes to taking risks.
So calculated.
I would rather not, if I can. So I don't like taking risks. The biggest risks I have taken have always been, oddly enough, even though I'm a conservative risk taker, I've been with my career. Getting into radio, massive risk. Who knew whether it was going to work or not? Because I was trained in a completely different field. Moving from one side to here, massive risk. But those are probably the two biggest risk-taking situations I've ever been
For
in.
you. Sean?
I look like a risk taker, but I'm actually quite scared.
Conservative as well.
Yeah, so very conservative. I like stability. I like to, the same thing every single day, that kind of thing.
Oh, wow. Okay. Interesting. Except for the tattoos.
Tattoos are not risky, right?
That's true as well.
What would you consider as risk, Sean?
Risk, investing all your money in one stock, that kind of thing. Putting everything on the line for a big payoff.
Putting everything into cryptocurrency.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah.
Something dropping everything and moving to another country to start a new life.
That's a risk, yeah?
okay,
That's a big risk,
Yeah.
How about, truancy?
True.
Okay.
From
Means,
school and work?
don't go to school.
Yeah.
Is that a risk? Yeah, for sure it's a risk. Yeah.
Risk, get
It
caught
is.
by the police,
Yeah,
yeah.
getting caught. The risk is getting caught.
Cheating on your spouse.
That's
Yeah.
risky
Yeah.
behavior,
Risky
100%.
Yeah.
Cheating in business as well.
Cheating in business.
In business as well.
Scamming a
That's
company,
scammings, frauds. That's
That's all
risky,
risky behavior.
Yep.
That's true. Yep. So,
Smuggling drugs.
Oh my gosh, yes.
See,
That's
nobody wanted to say
true.
that, right?
Yeah, nobody.
I didn't
I think
think of
anything
it.
criminal is, right?
Yeah, that's true.
Criminal is.
Yeah, I think Glenn has that criminal mind.
Hey,
Wow.
Nobody else thought about
That's
it.
true.
Nobody-
That's right. So when does risky behavior occur? Is there a moment that we decide we're going to be risky, or does it come naturally, or what happens?
Okay, there are 5 different areas. So just now, Glenn, segue into that whole developmental stage. So at different developmental stage, we do take risks, and the teens, the youth, they they engage in a lot of risky behavior because they're exploring the world. They're trying to find out. They're trying to feel around the world. What is acceptable, what is not acceptable. So, the sex, not only sex, but unprotected sex. Because it is quite exciting. How do you say that? Sex texting?
Yeah.
Sexting.
Yes. Yep. We were talking about, sending nude photos and everything a couple of weeks ago. Yeah, the risky uses, of using the social media. Smoking is one. So you have a lot of teens trying out smoking at that time, or substances, drinking, driving without a license, driving and then driving without a license.
Yeah.
What makes people do that, though? Okay, let's go on air and we'll talk about that. Good morning, Jerry. We're talking about risky behavior this morning.
Yes.
And Dr. Jerry, I asked earlier on the Big Show TV, when exactly does risk taking occur? Like, is there a moment that we decide to take risks, or is it in us? Does it come naturally?
So I kind of mentioned that it is during the developmental stage, and the most risky stage would be the teenage years. And the teens tend to be a little bit more susceptible to risky behaviors because they're more impulsive. They still have not developed that ability to think through things, to rationalize through things. So they are a little bit more impulsive. So that's why we say that they have not matured. Okay, so they are so very blanket, and we just put that they are very immature, but it's because their brains have not developed fully yet. So it takes until about 25 years old before the brain fully matures.
Really? 25?
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wow.
So what are some of the risky behaviors that you're talking about? Maybe you can put us through this test and see whether we actually went through it when we were in our teens.
Okay.
No, I don't have a test today, but
Okay.
I was talking about like sex, unprotected sex. Trying alcohol, the different substances, illegal substances, fighting, driving, and then driving without a license, playing truant from school, or playing truant from wherever it is.
I
Okay.
think I've done all that, no, except the unprotected sex and what was the other one?
The illegal substances.
Illegal substances. Actually, I wanted to do.
Okay.
Wanted
and did is very different.
But then I was like,
dear.
okay, I'll just smell the glue from afar.
Oh no!
Not in the packet
In the
and stuff
packets,
like that,
bag,
right?
as they do.
Yeah.
So I think maybe what was the other one? Driving without a license.
License.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I didn't do that as well. But
Okay.
everything else,
These are only a few examples, right?
that's quite a number of things.
Yeah, quite a few examples.
But developmental stage is one. Then there is personality. I think FD was talking about personality types. Some people are more risk averse. Some people take risks. They are more adventurous, perhaps. Then there's hereditary. If your parents are risk takers, they are a bit more adventurous. They're maybe rock climbers. They are thrill seekers. My thesis was actually on protective factors for siblings who have had a sibling incarcerated, with a risking behavior. And oh my gosh, there was a lot. Like, the correlation of a sibling and being incarcerated, risk-taking behavior, and the other sibling following suit is really high.
Wow.
Yeah. So hereditary. I see I'll pause for a while.
Yeah, 'cause that must be so heartbreaking for the parents, right?
Well,
You're talking about two kids being incarcerated.
But that's kind of
Yeah.
like influence, isn't it?
It's influence.
It's more peer pressure influence
But
that causes them to be risky.
So again, nature versus nurture, the very age-old, argument, which one causes what. But studies are out there, they see the very high correlation, so they infer.
Okay.
Okay. We are speaking to Dr. Geraldine Tan from the therapy room about risky behavior. More juicy conversations on the Big Show TV. So you want to switch back and forth. Or, just if you're driving, just watch us and drive. At the
No,
same
please
time.
don't. That's
risky
not
behavior.
risky behavior.
There you
That's
go.
risky.
Okay.
The
all right.
definition of.
But it's worth it.
No, it's not. No.
So, Jerry, we've got Chris on our Facebook page, and he said something, and I've often wondered whether this is true of risk takers. Sometimes it's just the sense of bravado and adventure. It's the fact that, damn, I can get away with this.
The thrill.
The thrill.
The thrill.
It's done strictly for the adrenaline rush.
Talking about stealing, right? Huh?
Whatever it may be. Is that a common reason for risky behavior?
Some of them do say that I can get away with it. I want to push and see how far I can get. Yeah,
Like
yeah.
even when it comes to teens, right? It's pushing the boundaries to see how far they can go before they get caught, right?
Yes, so that's the developmental stage. But there's also the disorder. So sometimes disorder causes the impulsivity. I think we were talking about like stealing. So some of the stealing behaviors, they are more impulsive. They don't think through, or they cannot control themselves.
Right. Kleptomaniacs.
Yeah. So it also comes to when they hurt themselves as well. That's risky behavior as well, isn't it? Okay.
Yep.
Wow,
So
okay.
putting yourself at risk, there's no benefit to anyone else. There's no benefit to the self.
Do people outgrow risky behavior? Like, I mean, as you say, developmental stages, teens, we were all like, let's do this. We've never tried it before. We want to experiment. We want to explore our boundaries and stuff like that. But as you get older, you also get smarter and you also get more matured, and you also know what the consequences are. So, is that a natural growth pattern that you outgrow risky behavior?
Most of us learn how to deal with our environments. We learn the rules of the environment. So later we can look at what we can do about the risky behaviors.
Right. Just like
What
yesterday,
parents can do.
I was talking to a good friend of ours, Desiree Lai, yesterday, and everyone knows she broke her ankle really badly.
Skateboarding.
Skateboarding, roller skating. I think it was
roller skating.
It was roller skating.
Roller
I'm
skating.
thinking, how the hell did she do that? Because the roller skates, right? You're talking about the boot.
Yeah.
It's a high cut boot made of leather. So for her to have still broken her ankle like that,
Snapped it in two.
Yeah.
was just awful. So yesterday she comes in, of course, all brave lah, because she's all kind of almost healing up, right? So I ask her, I'm like, hey, Des,
Does that mean you'll stop?
Yeah, are you gonna go roller skating again? So yeah, of course. You only live once. You can walk on the road and get hit by a car. That kind of example.
Yeah.
What do you think? Stupidity or
YOLO.
or just
I don't think it's risky behavior at all. I mean,
No.
that's to me, it's not risky
Why?
No,
behavior.
we just watched the Olympics, right?
Yeah.
You have
Yeah.
these kids who are like 12 years
Skateboarding.
old and stuff
Yeah.
like that, and to me, I feel like, look, if she was 12, 15 or whatever, different story. But she's at an age now where if you break it again, let's say, it's going to take a long time to heal. So for you, right, if someone comes up to you like that and tells you their story, what would you say? Would you encourage? Would you concur with the person that life is short, just do whatever you want, or would you do would you analyze the situation and go like, okay, maybe this is a little bit more risky?
Find out why you actually want to do it again.
Yeah, what do you think?
If for her, she's an adult. She is fully capable of making her own decisions,
Right.
and she is able to bear the consequences, and she's accepting of the consequences. But when we talk about some of these youths, they don't know the consequences, or they hear the consequence, but they are not really understanding what these consequences mean. And in the longer term, they might not be able to deal with the consequences. If they jump and they break a leg and they cannot use their leg anymore, or they're paralyzed waist down.
Right.
Can they deal with the consequences?
Right.
Because I think if we're talking about Desiree's situation, you can't live the rest of your life in fear.
Yeah.
You need to get out there and do it.
But when I spoke to her, I didn't believe her.
Well,
I just felt like she was putting up a brave front.
No, I think Desiree is the kind of person who will actually get up and get on those skates again, and she will do it. She's that sort of person. But the question I have to ask is: we keep going back to the adolescent and the developmental stage, and how risk taking happens there. Is it in any degree necessary for the development of a person?
So risk taking to a certain degree is required. So we want our little ones to take the risk, stand up and walk, right?
Yeah.
So the little toddlers, we want them to be adventurous with their foods. We want them to try different things, to go out to different environments and know that they are safe. So yes, it is, important. Imagine like if after you didn't take that career plunge and take that risk to do that career plunge, you would not be sitting here, and we would not have enjoyed you for how many years? 50 years?
Okay, let's not go. Yeah, close. 50 years. 50. Has that almost
What I'm saying is that you're really, really wonderful in your work.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So sweet. Okay, hold on, Jerry. We're going to let this guy over here, whom you just complimented, do the traffic update because he's the CEO of traffic.
CEO of traffic.
Okay.
When we come back, we can do this reminder again.
What is
Okay.
this?
Your medical topics.
Yeah.
Oh.
Let's do that.
Okay,
WhatsApp
pass it to. Everything is up here.
Okay, very good.
Good morning and welcome to The Big Show and The Big Show TV. For those of you who are just joining us today for the very first time, and I think every day we're getting converts.
Yeah. I
Because they're
think so.
tuning into, other breakfast shows. Then going like, what is this? What is this rubbish? It's not serving me at all. What nonsense? And then they tune into us. Oh, okay.
We can learn something here.
Yeah,
we
it's a
got
show
content.
for us,
Yes,
And
this is
speaking
true.
of a show for us, we mentioned earlier on that we're planning to get doctor or doctors, okay, to come in on Wednesdays and all that. And if you've got any medical condition or anything that you would like these doctors to address, you can WhatsApp us 88550913. Mental wellness, we're leaving it to Dr. Geraldine Tan, so you don't have to mention that. But if you're talking about even plastic surgery, breast augmentation, breast
anything.
implants,
Yeah.
whatever it is.
Any kind of implants.
Yeah.
So Jerry,
Other implants, butt implants.
Calf.
calf implants.
Calf implants. There you go.
Ab
Ab implants.
implants.
That's quite interesting.
Yeah, man.
Because I was talking to them yesterday. I said, I think I need something for my face. Like I need like Botox shots or whatever.
Okay. All right. Anyway, let's carry on with
Okay.
Dr. Jerry.
So I
Yes.
just want to go a little further. Jerry, you were saying that, yes, we want to encourage our children to take certain risks when it comes to food and blah, blah, blah. But, okay, in my day, boys climb trees. If you fall, you break your arm. Never mind. You're a boy. Is that right? Should parents support that kind of risk-taking?
Why not, Glenn?
Yes, I think
They
everyone
fall
should climb
down,
trees.
they break their head, game over. I will be a very protective parent.
Yeah.
Really.
Every child should climb trees,
I don't
climb
mind.
into drains.
Yes, exactly,
Like,
yeah.
absolutely.
I don't want my child to limp into life. No.
Limbs
I
of
think
life.
we need to know what the dangers are and how to maneuver them. Yeah, if not, then we feel like there's only one route and one route only. We become very inflexible, So the curiosity, the adventure permits us to be more flexible with how we deal with our environment. Rather than everything is from the book or everything is one way or you just follow my way. What happens if mommy and daddy is not there? Then they are lost.
Right.
Yeah.
Because the reason why I say that is we've got Moll on our Facebook page who said, Moll says, I'm not a risk taker, so I've never broken bones before. The risk takers around me have had so many injuries, including broken bones. They constantly got drama in their lives. They seem to enjoy their lives so much.
Yeah, but when they grow old, they'll feel all these breaks in their bodies.
But they don't feel it now.
No.
And
it's
what counts as now, yeah.
It's debatable, right? So I've got some scenarios for us to debate about.
Oh, fantastic.
Okay.
Yay.
So we spoke about a few. So eating. Have you tried fugu?
Yes.
No.
Oh, is this
Yes.
the
Pufferfish.
pufferfish? Okay.
Yes.
No, I haven't.
Yes. How was it? I've never
love it.
tried.
I love it. I
Keep on
absolutely
eating
love
it every day, FD. Keep on
But
eating
it's
it every day.
poisonous.
No.
So
It's not poisonous,
people
yeah.
who cook fugu are specially trained to
make sure the poison is not poison,
to
right?
prepare the fish.
Yeah.
Yeah, but how do you know that person is specially trained? Let's say if I bring you to a Japanese restaurant, it's a new chef. How do you know he's specially trained?
Well,
You know,
He has a license.
halfway through the meal, if I start going fugu, fugu, you know he's not trained.
Yeah, a bit too late, right?
This is unnecessary. I would never try fugu.
But I
Oh,
would
it's
I would
awesome.
firstly I would try it if I ate fish. Secondly, I would try it if I knew that the chef had a reputation of actually being trained. You don't go walk into any Tom, Dick and Harry sushi place
Yeah.
and decide to eat pufferfish.
So in other words, Angel is saying no. She's
No,
not
that's
gonna
not
do
true.
it as well.
I did not
No.
say no.
Yeah,
I
because
said I would.
because who do you know here in Singapore who's
This is why I
who's-
haven't tried it.
You asked
Yeah.
this guy
Yeah.
over here,
Yeah.
FD.
Yeah.
Where
He
did
didn't
you
even
have it?
check. He didn't
No.
even check with the chef.
No, I went to a restaurant that specialized in
There
fugu.
you go. You don't know.
Specialized in-
You don't
the
know
chef was
everything about
Japanese.
FD.
Maybe the damn dishwasher was the one. Who was... Do you know that in Japan they are so strict with it, right?
Yes.
After they're done with the fugu, right, the spare parts and all that, it goes in a box and then they lock it up
Oh, really?
because
Wow.
it's
That's
that
dangerous.
lethal. Yes.
Wow.
It's
Yes,
it really is a
yes,
lethal
yes,
fish.
yes.
Okay. So the first
That's fugu.
that's
Okay.
fugu.
How about base jumping?
Base jumping.
I mean, out of place.
Well, we've jumped out of planes before, but we've done tandem skydiving,
Tandem.
and that in itself was a risk.
Yeah.
One time I didn't want to do it again,
I've
but at
done
least I
it.
can say I've done it.
I've done it
You know.
3 times. Yeah.
But base jumping is different, lah. Base
Base
jumping is different.
different.
No, sorry.
On your own, nope.
No.
Okay. This one is up for people to argue betting and gambling.
No, I don't bet and gamble.
I took the risk once. I took the risk once with $5. I went up to a lot of money. I went home losing money. So now I don't gamble at all. I don't even buy a sweet ticket.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't gamble as well, but if I'm in Australia, for example, I will go to the Crown Casino, and just play roulette. I like playing, roulette. But I would set aside a certain amount of money
And then walk away.
Yeah.
Yeah,
If I lose everything, I'm out.
Yeah, like I've done it for fun, but I know when to walk away. So
Yeah.
it's not something that will suck me in ever. I don't do it out of habit, and I don't do it just
Yeah.
because everyone else is doing it. I
Not
do it
like
just
Mark
for fun.
Wahlberg in The Gambler. No. Not like that. Okay, Jerry, hold on. We're going to play a song right now on the radio, and on the Big Show TV, we'll continue this conversation.
Okay, what else do we debate about, Jerry?
Career switch.
Yeah, I've done it. Yeah.
I've never done it.
I think that is a risk that sometimes you may not have a choice with. If you want to see development, if you want to get out of a rut, if you want to see growth, sometimes you don't have a choice. It is a risk you have to take. Just for your own sanity, it is a risk you have to take.
Yeah, so that I forgot to say one more was situational. When does it occur? Situational risk-taking behavior. So you've just described one of it that is necessary.
yeah.
One of it that is really, really sad for situational risk-taking behavior. Do we remember the 911 incident, the Twin Towers?
Yes.
Yeah.
and it was either I burn in the building and or collapse with it, or I jump. So we saw a
Situational.
lot. Yeah.
But that's kind of when your instinct kicks in as well, isn't it? It's like it's you almost don't have
Maybe.
time to think as well. You got to make that decision. It's like
Yeah,
either
it's so
you
horrible,
burn
right?
or you jump. You know, what I mean,
Yeah.
it's not something we
terrible,
can go
so
into.
sad.
Yeah.
But that's what many of our youth's minds are like. They feel so cornered. They feel like they're gonna burn up, or they feel like there's no way forward, and the only way is down.
That's a
Yeah.
great point. That's a very good point, Jerry, that you've just brought up, because it puts things in perspective.
So, would it be would peer pressure be considered situational?
It can be, so we were talking about bullying and cyberbullying. They feel like they have nowhere else to go because their world is only home and school, right? So the whole world seems to know who they are. The whole world seems to be pointing fingers at them. There's nowhere that they can go. And the only way is to just disappear from the entire world. And that's what some of them say. I just need to disappear. I just want to disappear. Life has no reset button, so I have to go.
So that's why you were talking about, like, okay, so the example you just cited, right, makes me think that the youth, right, who are being cornered, they do these things deliberately to either gain attention or to hurt themselves. And that's why they engage in risky
But
behavior.
even the hurting of themselves is to gain attention.
Exactly.
Is it
That's what I mean.
to gain attention, Jerry?
Not entirely.
It's not, right?
No, not all of them. So if you're talking about some of the self-injurious behaviors, and that they kind of put on display, then maybe yes, but or they put it on their IG stories. But many of them who their methods are a bit more fatal.
Yeah.
That's not attention-seeking behavior is not. Yeah.
Jerry, let me ask you, because I wonder, you try something risky, it works. You try something risky, it works. Can risky behavior become addictive?
Personality types, right? If your personality type is the type that looks for thrills, looks for excitement, it can get quite addictive.
Adrenaline junkies and stuff.
Yeah.
Like roller skating.
Yeah.
I hope she's not tuning
I
in.
know,
right
right?
now, right?
Well, she can always rewatch this. Our Facebook stays up, and now we made it immortal on YouTube as well.
I don't know
right?
what to say when someone rollerblades and breaks the ankle.
And then
goes
rollerblades
back
again.
again to rollerblading.
No, I mean, you can go back again, but how do you break your ankle roller
If
skating?
you
You
fall,
can.
get up again, right?
Can.
Let me just tell you, I was the roller skating national champion here in Singapore. It's just I didn't tell you guys about
Yeah,
this.
okay,
I
yeah.
was like jumping over drains and stuff like that, in the 70s.
Yeah.
You know what? We should bring you a pair of roller skates
Now
into
cannot.
the
Which I would love to
studio.
try, again, I haven't
Try.
you see,
I would
the
love
thing
to
is
try
the thing
again.
is, you see, unlike other people, I think, before I do these things, I'm 51 years old. Do I want to put myself at risk and break something and then, spend so much time recuperating and all that?
We'll bring you knee pads and everything else as
Isn't
well.
my life, good enough already? I love enjoying myself, walking my dog in the evening. I don't need to do anything extreme,
But if rollerblading
You're just
or
not an
roller skate-
extreme, so you're not a risk taker.
Well, I can be a risk taker in other areas.
Like what?
But not necessarily, when it comes to my health or physicality.
Yeah, but you've got to understand
what I
also,
mean?
Jerry, tell me if I'm wrong. We see this as a risk because of age and where you are,
Yeah.
and it's rollerblading or roller skating or skateboarding or whatever. Does the person doing it see it as a risk?
No.
Yeah. I think
course not.
You don't.
a very good example would be FD.
You don't.
When we exercise on a Monday, he won't even stand up.
No.
You know what I mean? So he doesn't do these things because he doesn't want to take unnecessary risks.
Yeah.
Is that
And I know
why
that
you're
for
not
a
doing
fact.
it?
Yeah.
Really?
Glenn is the only person who understands what happens when I blow my back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do
So
the show alone.
I think FD is a risk taker, FD amongst all of us is a risk taker. But he knows what the odds
The
are.
boundaries
Yeah.
are.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
knows where the boundaries are. He ate fugu. Come on, and he
We don't even
jumped
know whether
three
that's true.
times.
Three
Someone
times.
someone could have
And
just
he
fed him.
career switched.
I tell you, it wasn't fugu. Probably it was caught fish in it.
It was fugu lah.
You're just missing out. That's all it is.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, I haven't eaten
Julian,
fugu.
have you tried fugu?
Hi. Yes.
Oh, there you go.
See?
Right.
See?
Was it in Singapore or in
Julian is a risk
Japan?
taker.
In Japan.
In Japan.
Tried it.
Yeah, like, you
100%.
must try fugu in Japan. Don't try it here.
Full of nonsense.
Yeah, he is full of nonsense, yeah.
I don't think I'm a risk taker. I don't know. As I age, I become less
You're more conservative.
courageous. I become less
Yeah.
courageous.
I think that's okay.
I
That's
think
a good
that's
thing.
with everyone, yeah.
Yeah. So
That's-
I
It's as we eat. Everything within moderation. As Jerry said, know your boundaries, know how far you can push it. But that doesn't mean you don't try it.
That's true.
Okay.
Try
For the
it.
parents, right? Since we are on the boundaries, I know Julian is here, and I'm going to rush a little bit.
You can stay actually if you want.
yeah.
No. It's his time. So
It's okay. You can listen to what I've
You
got
drive
to say.
on, yeah.
It's fine.
I do. Okay. What can we do, right? So
Yeah.
besides boundaries, knowing the boundaries, putting out the boundaries for our youths, putting out the boundaries for ourselves.
Okay, hold on, Jerry. We want you to
do
say
something.
bye in a while on
Yeah.
the radio, okay?
Oh,
so
okay.
after traffic, we'll wrap.
Okay.
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 We don't want
I
to-
have a very special message for Jerry at the end of this.
Awesome.
No, she's closing, bro. Good morning. You're tuned into The Big Show and The Big Show TV. Our guest for this morning is Dr. Geraldine Tan from the Therapy Room. And we've had such a great time talking about risky behavior.
Yep.
Jerry, thank you so
Yes.
much. Would you like to, any final words?
I have a few. Okay, so we were talking about it. I want to empower the parents what to do about it. So we were talking about boundaries, set some boundaries. So we can do that for ourselves also. Know what your values are. So we need to impart the values to our children. Communicate with them. So you don't just know your values, know your boundaries, but don't tell them and then get angry with them. Please, a lot of parents, many parents do that. Okay. Engage with your youth, because many of the youths come to me and they say, oh, I don't talk to my parents. And I ask them why. And they say, well, they don't want to know, so I don't tell. And I ask them, what do they actually mean? Oh, and they say, my parents look disinterested.
Oh.
So yeah. So I don't think the parents are disinterested, but sometimes they're on their phones, they're doing something else, they're engaged with something else. So engage with them. And the last one is quite funny, but and parents are going to scream at this, but I'm going to say it anyway. Know your children or your youths, even when they grow up, their social groups and their peers. It's very important to know. You don't have to go into that whole space and muscle your way in, but at least know who they're mixing with. So you know what you're up against, and you know which boundaries to reiterate, which values to reiterate again. Yeah.
Fantastic. Thank
Very
you so
true.
much, Dr. Jerry.
Yep. And one last one that one of the youths last week had said, because he had the idea of jumping and hurting someone. And he sat in front of me, and I asked him, would you do it? And he said, he's a wonderful, wonderful boy, very intelligent, okay? But sometimes the more intelligent they are, the tougher it is for them. And he promised me this, and I want parents, teachers, or whoever, just to have them agree to this statement. His mantra now is, Auntie Jerry, I won't do anything irreversible. And I say, thank you.
Wow.
Yeah. So amongst all the risky behaviors, I think one thing that we need to understand is, can it be reversed? And I with all that, to close this topic, risky behavior is needed, but let's not do anything that is irreversible. So skateboarding is okay.
So true, Jerry. I just wanted to tell you what Chris Jack has got to say about you. He listens to us every Tuesday, and he says when Dr. Jerry laughs, the sun shines brighter, and 5 bunnies are born.
So many rabbits.
What's that? He's fantasizing about you, no, I think. Jerry. With all the rabbits on.
Stop it. Thanks, Jerry.
Thank you so much, Jerry.
Okay, I'll see you
See you next week.
Thanks, Jerry. See
Bye.
you. Bye.